Appreciate that. Good afternoon. Everybody okay? All right, good. You guys learned some things today, yes? All right, awesome. So if you don't know this young lady right here, this is Jenny Finkel. She's going to be my lovely assistant for today. So I ask that you please cheer and encourage her on. All right, there we go, there we go. So, exercising, staying active during the winter months. Those three gentlemen here just told you that they see that exercises assists and helps in the recovery process. So then, and we know that that's something that we want to do, it's something we want to incorporate, but now that we got this snow out there, we got this rain, we got these 20-degree temperatures, we're less inclined, everyone, myself included, to go out there and do something, right? We don't have that lakefront where we can go out for that nice jog, that bike ride, that walk, etc. So what the heck do we do to stay active and to encourage that blood flow, to encourage the recovery, and just to feel good, look good in these winter months? But first I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself so you know where I come from, where my philosophy derives from, and why I have so much darn energy at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. All right? Born and raised in Chicago, went to Lane Tech High School on the north side. I know we have some Indians in here, don't lie. There we go. Roaches, you know, we're everywhere. Went to Lane Tech, graduated in 2002. I wrestled, I ran track, I played football there. College of the Holy Cross in Worcester, Massachusetts, where I also played football. And okay. Yes, sir. So when I came back to Chicago, I started working in sales for 4.5 years. Now, keep in mind, this is the first time in maybe 12, 15 years that I actually wasn't an athlete anymore. I wasn't competing. I wasn't exercising regularly. I was sitting behind a desk. I was in front of a computer. I was on the phone. And that's fine. But I just noticed that my energy just wasn't there anymore. I wasn't as enthusiastic or just about life in general. My body didn't feel or look as good as I wanted it to. So I knew that there was a disconnect. I made the personal decision to become a full-time personal trainer and absolutely felt a difference and a change immediately. Granted, I'm on my feet, I'm moving, I'm exercising, I'm demonstrating, so I feel good, I see my body changing. But what really struck me the most is not necessarily about me, but by the people I was working with. So when I'm seeing somebody come in that was in my situation before, who's working or who's maybe recovering from an injury, an illness, whatever the situation is, and now they're feeling a little bit better, all right, now we're increasing their bone density, their bone mass, that we're increasing blood flow and allowing their bodies to recover from whatever traumatic experience they went through. Now I'm like, wow, exercise, movement, it's powerful stuff. So I want you guys to know that just you moving, just you being active, no matter how minute, no matter how little that may be, is going to change the game for you. It can potentially change your life. So I want to put a visual into your head. If you think of a mountaintop with roaring rivers going right through, what do you see around it? I want you to tell me. What do you see? Mountaintop, this river that's just flowing. What's around it? Tell me. You see trees. What else do you see? All right, you see grass. You might see Bambi running through there, taking a quick sip of water, right? You see life. You see energy. Now, if you were on 90-94, and it just rained, and there's a puddle on the side of the road, what do you see there? You see mud, you see some mosquitoes, all right, you just think death, essentially, right? So, road, moving, alive, going this way and that, life. Puddle by the side of the road, death. Which one do you want to be? Exactly, I think you get my point here. So, what I want to do at this point is I want to stop talking to you, and I want you to start talking to me. We just agreed that movement, all right, is the key to life. So what ways can we move? Tell me what you do currently. Tell me what ideas you have in terms of how we can get moving generally. Doesn't matter what time of the year it is. I want you to talk to me what you do and what you know we can do. Water aerobics, absolutely. What else? Walk, perfect. What else? Swimming. Going to the gym, absolutely. Anybody else? Yoga. Hire a personal trainer, absolutely. Group dancing, come on, let me. Zumba, yes sir. All right, bicycling, absolutely. You can do CrossFit, you can do boxing, you can dance as we said, you can swim, you can walk, you can play with your kids, you can play with your grandkids. At the end of the day, you can do anything, anything, anything. Now, let me ask you this. Of everything that we just listed, and anything else that you can think of, which one is the most effective? I heard swimming. What else? Walking. I hear walking. What else? I like that answer right there. All of the above. Anything you can do regularly. If I ask some of you guys to come and pick up a barbell that has 225 pounds on it, you probably won't or can't. Chances are, probably number two, we have no desire to, nor do we think it's fun, nor is it anything that we feel motivated or encouraged to do. So chances are, when I tell you to come back tomorrow, I won't see you. All right? Now, if you love dancing, and I turn that music to 10, and I put on your favorite song, you can do that till you're blue in the face. So find what encourages you, find what motivates you, find what gets you excited, no matter what that may be. Everything we listed, anything else that you can find that gets you excited, and you use that as your movement. Now, what I want to do today is I want to leave you with a couple of exercises and a couple of stretches that you can do once you go home, even here, that are going to get you on that path, that are very low impact, that are very safe. And of course, you can always make it a little bit more challenging or a little bit easier depending on your fitness level. But first things first, who do we consult? You're darn right. I don't say just because Gideon told you to do it, you're going to do it. Make sure you consult your physician to make sure that it's appropriate for you. So you see my lovely assistant here. Are your physicians still in the room? I see Dr. P. Come over here, young man. I need a backup dancer. Any other physicians in here? Come on up here, young man. Come on up here. Now, because the physicians, they always tell you go out and exercise. But, you know, they have to be able to practice what they preach.
Problem with my knee.
No problem, absolutely. Yeah, no. I won't be mean at all. Now, what I want to show is that I'm going to use some pieces of equipment, yes, but most of us have it. And or you don't have to use a piece of equipment in order to do these same exercises. So either way, it's going to be safe. Whether you have it or not, it's completely up to you. These are just, again, great, simple, basic movement tools just to get you going.
There's Dr. Yang.
Dr. Yang, you're looking good, young man. Come over here. Come on.
Yeah.
If you could just hold these edges. So, I was just in here 5 minutes ago.
This always happens to me.
And Dr. Yang was like, you guys got to exercise if you want to recover better. Did you not say that?
You guys are all in better shape than me.
So again, as I was just telling the group here, you know, we practice what we preach around here, right?
Absolutely.
All right, he said absolutely, so he's going to be moving too. So first things first are just some very basic stretches. I hope you have this at home. If you don't have a towel, I don't know how you really shower and get through the day. But if you don't need it, because these gentlemen behind Jenny, are also going to show how to do these same stretches without. So right now, Jenny has this towel. She's extending her hand straight out, and she's just going to lift it overhead. She's going to extend straight up, and now all you can see is she's opening up that chest. She's correcting and aligning her posture just by standing. Thank you, these 4, 5, 6 lovely ladies. Good. Relax. Let me tell you something. The average person wakes up in the morning, they sit down at breakfast. They jump in their car, on the bus, on the train, they head to work or they head to wherever they're going. They get to work or wherever they're going, they sit down again. They go to their lunch break, they're sitting down. They're back to their desk, they sit. They get back on the car bus, they sit. They get home, they watch TV, they sit. Dinner, they sit. They go to sleep.
We wonder why we're so creaky.
Can you imagine 16 to 20 hours of your day actually seated? And you guys are still sitting. If you can, please rise. If you don't want to, that's completely fine. But again, I want you to experience some of these stretches here so that you can say, you know what, I did it. I felt safe doing it. If you don't want to, again, you do not have to. All right, so first things first, raise those hands straight up. What this does here, it makes you have to stay nice and tall. It extends your spine, and you're probably going to feel a little bit of a stretch into those shoulders. Slowly come back down. All right, some of you let out a sigh. What does that mean? That means your body needed that extension. You were probably sitting down since 8 a.m. when you got here. So this is a good change of pace. Give me those hands up one more time. Extend, reach, 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 reach. Hands in the air like you just don't care. And let them back down. And one more time, big inhale. Fill those lungs up. And give me one big exhale. Let those hands fall. I didn't ask you to do much. How much equipment did you buy? None. You just raise your hands in the air. All right? Now, you can make this dynamic. You don't have to do this, but just watch Jenny as she comes up, and she comes right back down. She comes up, she comes right back down, and this can be exercise for us. For some of us, this is going to get that heart rate up, which is completely fine. Now, she's going to hold that towel just a little bit wider, and if she has maybe a shoulder limitation that she's trying to work through and improve her range of motion, maybe she comes back and behind her as far as she feels comfortable, and then comes back and around. Now, but again, some of us don't need that towel. Maybe I come very wide and I just go back here a little bit and open up that chest. You can try it. Don't smack your neighbor, please. There we go. Nice and easy. Just a couple more. Extend those hands out. Just one more. Just one more. Just one more. Just one more. And right back. And relax. Good. There we go. Exactly. No, don't tell me that didn't feel good. It felt. I just told you to put your hands in the air and move them. It really can be as simple as that. Grab a seat. Jenny's also going to show us another variation here. She's going to go around the world, where she's also continuing with that rotation through those shoulders. Now, you can notice here, if that feels too tight at all, she just winds her hands. Again, we're just using that towel as a measure, and she can come as far as she feels comfortable. If she doesn't want to use that towel because it's still too restrictive on the shoulders, we can just float without. And again, we're just working that shoulder capsule here and getting a nice quality stretch. Some of you may want to stand up for the next one. Hands straight up. Are they doing it back here, or are they just... Here we go. Hands straight into the air. If you want to do this, you may. A lot of you are going to really enjoy this if you decide to. Hands into the air. And I just want you to lean over to one side. You're going to feel a big stretch onto that oblique area here. Enjoy that. Slowly come back center. Slowly back center. And let's shift to the opposite side. There we go. Do you feel that stretch a little bit? Good. Let's get one more time back up top. And over. Easy, easy, easy. Breathing, 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 breathing. Back up top. And one more time to the opposite side. Feel that stretch into your lats for 5, 4, 3, 2, and relax. Easy. Simple. A quick stretch. Easy dynamic movement. Some of you may be feeling a little bit of sweat trickling down right about now, which is okay. It's a sign that you're what? You're working and you're alive. All right? Gentlemen, I'm not going to ask you to do this. However, Jenny, I'm going to have you come down onto the ground. Now, these exercises, and again, if you can't see and you want to stand, please feel free. These exercises can be done with or without this band. Gentlemen, you guys can grab a band for the next demonstration. Jenny, if you can put these around your ankles, please. So, Jenny, please stand or move your seats to the side because I want you to see this one. Again, very low impact. It does not take much effort, and this can be done with or without the band. You will still feel the same, except that band's going to encourage a little bit more activation into those glutes. A lot of us sit down a lot. It is what it is. So we neglect this part of our body. Everybody wants a butt. It's just something we want. Stop there. Stop there. So she's going to lay down on her back in what looks just like a sit-up position. Her feet are flat on the ground. Her heels are nice and close to her butt, and she's just relaxing. All she's going to do here, she's going to lift her hips up. She's going to squeeze her butt here, and she's going to lower right back to the ground. She's going to lift again by pushing her feet down into the ground, lift up, squeeze, and down nice and easy. So she's going to continue with that motion here, and right now her entire backside is lightening up. So her butt, her hamstrings, even her abs have to brace to hold her in this position. Now, some of you are like, okay, I can do that, or I have done this before, and it didn't really encourage much in that lower body for you. If she holds right here, guess what? This is constant tension that's being put on that part of her body, meaning that these muscles are not getting a chance to relax, so they're working overtime. Now, if you don't have a band, that's fine. You're still going to get that work. But if you do have a band on, guess what? That band wants to be at rest. So now she has to use those legs to fire out, which is activating and using a whole nother set of muscles. You feeling that, girl? Indeed. Now, some of you may want to take it up another notch. She's going to step her left leg out to the left side while keeping her hips up. And then she's going to step it right back, step right leg out, and right back. Now, yeah, exactly. Going on right here. And she's breaking a sweat because I can see it trickling down. So again, relax, 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 relax. Good. Where did she go? Nowhere. How much equipment did she need? She didn't need that band in order for that to work. All right, so again, she didn't do much. It was very low impact. So your knees are safe, your lower back is safe, and you can do this anywhere on your feet. Give a round of applause for this young lady. I want you to take a break. Gentlemen, it's time to do some work. Bands around those ankles, please. I'm going to help you out with this one. I know, it's okay. It's okay. There we go. Good. Perfect. Don't want to mess up your suit. All right. So, again, can be done with or without the band. You don't need it. Matter of fact, I'm not going to use it. Good. Space yourselves out, gentlemen. Space yourselves out. Please, call them out if they're not. So the first one is going to be a basic squat. All right? Now, some of us have different squatting mechanics. I'm not asking for your butt to touch the ground. If this is all you have, that's all you have. I'll take it because you're still going to get that same work in that lower body. You're still going to work on that lower back, that thoracic extension. It's still going to work for you. So you find the range that's good for you and you stick within that range. There is no problem with that. So your toes are straight forward. Good. And now they're feeling the resistance in that band and we're just going to sit down and back, down and back, down and back. Now, you can also do this at home, and if you feel unsafe without anything behind you, what are you sitting on? You're sitting on a chair, right? You sit down into that chair, you stand up. You sit down into that chair, you stand up. We want more. So what are we going to do from here? Feet shoulder width apart. I'm going to step to my left, back to shoulder width, one squat. Step to my right, back to shoulder width, one squat. So again, I'm not going very far. I don't need very much space at all. But now I'm working my lower body. Keep going, gentlemen. I'm working my lower body, and now is okay. And relax, and relax, and relax. So they're traveling back and forth, which is now creating movement. And what happens with movement? The blood has to circulate a little bit more. And the way the blood circulates a little bit more is by that heart pumping a little bit harder. So now we're increasing our cardiovascular endurance while also working on that lower body strength. And again, if I wanted to make this a little bit more dynamic or increase that cardio expenditure, I'm just stepping side to side. And maybe when I get to one end, I squat. Or I don't squat at all. And I just work side to side, working the abductors, the outside of those legs that are often neglected, because as people, we don't move side to side. We walk straight forward, right? We climb the stairs straight forward. We go for a jog straight forward. But how many times in a day do you actually move to your side? Or backward, for that matter? Rarely. All right, so I showed you a couple things to do with the bands. I showed you a couple things to do with the towels and the stretches there. We're gonna. You can take the band now. You can take the band now. You gentlemen are good. Give a round. Thanks, Doc. You're all good. You're all good. Thank you. Appreciate it. Let me help you out there. I got you.
Thank you.
No problem.
Can I go back now?
You can go back now. Thanks for your help. Matter of fact, this is for you, for your troubles. For your troubles. There we go. Good. So, where's your band go?
Oh, I hit it.
So, core. In addition to total body strength, if you would kindly put those back on.
On the ankle.
Yep, please. So, core, that midsection, we want that strong. This is your center of gravity. This is your base. You have this strong, everything else becomes stronger around it. So we want to make sure that midsection is activated. And one of the easiest and best ways to do it is the plank position. Now, some of us may or not be ready for a plank, but at least I want to give you that option so that when you are, you're able to rock and roll. You're good for it. You know you are. Two variations you can do on that plank. The plank can be done on your hands. The plank can be done on your forearms. My best advice for you, for anyone that wants to do a plank, of course, after consulting their physician, is to work for as long as you feel comfortable. You take that rest whenever you need it, and then you get back to work. So a lot of people want to say, oh, I want to hold that plank for a minute straight. I want to hold the plank for 2 minutes. I think a gentleman in China just broke the world record for like 5.5 hours in a plank. Yeah, hours. In a plank position, something ridiculous, I know. I just wouldn't. But, you know, so we always have that stigma of I want to go a little bit longer and stronger, but what happens is your body breaks down. What normally happens on the average person is you're in this plank position, you're supposed to be strong, that lower back starts sagging. Now all of that gravity and weight is pushing down into my lower back, which is going to cause an injury eventually. It just is. So you hold the plank position, whatever variation you'd like for as long as you're able. You take your rest and then you come back up. What happens is over time, your body starts to fire a little bit stronger. It picks up its own strength, and then you're able to last longer over time. Just like I don't expect anybody to go and run a marathon on the first day. They knock out maybe a half mile, all right, a mile. They chip away at it. They get better. They get stronger. Their cardiovascular endurance improves. Their muscular endurance improves, and now they're able to complete that thing. Same thing happens with the plank. So the lovely Jenny is flipping over into a tall plank position. Just so you know, when you're at home, hands are under the shoulders. Your feet have the balls of your feet tucked underneath. Her body's in a nice straight line. Her butt's not in the air. Her butt and her hips are not down towards the ground. She is in a tall straight line from head down to heel. So again, lower body, often neglected. She's going to stay in this plank position, and she's going to tap from side to side with those legs. So now the resistance of that band is fighting against her big time. But again, if she didn't have that band on, she still has to use those same muscles, just in a lower capacity to do the same exercise. Now, Jenny's crazy. She's going to hold that plank right there. Don't move. And she's going to give me jumping jacks. Again, an advanced, yeah, I know. An advanced move, yes, relax. But if you wanted to do, you don't have to do that for 30 seconds. You can do 2 and then go back to your toe taps. You can do 2 and just go back to your plank hold position and not move. Relax, relax, come all the way down. Because I'm not mean, I'm not mean. Yeah, there we go. But you can see there, we took a base move and then we just expanded on that base move. What that means for you is limitless. She's going to come back into that plank position. There we go. Good. She's going to give me those jumping jacks. She's going to give me the side-to-side taps. She's going to hold that plank. She's going to widen her feet and hold. So now that band is really pulling against her. She's going to tap her shoulders. She's going to extend her hands straight out in front of her. We didn't rehearse this, by the way. I'm just throwing it at her. She's going to touch her hips, alternating sides. Yep. Perfect. She's going to lift opposite arm, opposite leg. Oh, yeah, I'm asking for a lot right now. And she's going to come back to that plank for 5, 4, 3, 2, relax. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. So again, some of you are going to want advanced options. You have those. Some of you want the base, which is completely fine too. Whenever you want to ramp it up, whenever you want to step it up, you do just that. She's going to show us the forearm plank position, just so you know that you have this option. Now you can see that this may be stronger or feels a little bit better for some people. Elbow directly under the shoulders, but everything else stays the same. She is in a perfect straight line. If you get tired in this position, she's going to show us what Dolphin Pose is. She lifts her hips up. She gives herself a little bit of a stretch. So she's going to feel that into her hamstrings here, and then she resets right back into that plank whenever she's ready. You can do that same thing on the plank on your hands, which is essentially your downward dog position. She gives herself a little bit of a reprieve, a quick stretch, and she comes right back down. Relax, relax. Again, we did not leave the confines of this area. You do not need any pieces of equipment, and we had our stretch with the towel. We used our bands in a standing position. We use our bands on our back for the bridge position, and then we worked on our core and the total body for the most part in that plank position. So again, you can do anything, you can do everything. The world is yours. All you have to do is get out and move. All right? Thank you guys very much. Thank you very much, Jenny. Appreciate it. I'd be glad to answer any and all questions you have, starting with this young lady. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yep. So she asked whether or not there is another variation of the plank for maybe people who aren't ready to be on their toes or on their hands or on their forearms. And that's a great question. You can always come down to this plank position here. Now, most people don't execute this plank position properly, which is, she's on her knees now if you can't see it. All right, so what she did is she took the lower body from knee to ankles and pretty much took that out of the equation. So now there's less of a load on her core and onto her body, her shoulders and her hands specifically. So she's still going to get that same work, but it's very important that you make sure you don't arch that lower back like this. Because remember, we have too much pressure right there. So think of tucking your hips underneath you, squeezing your butt, and holding your body in a straight line. Your your knees now replaced your heels. So now we're working within these confines right here. Relax. You can also do the same thing on your hands at the same time as well. So perfect straight line from knees to the top of her head. And now it's a little bit of less pressure onto upper body and onto a core if you needed to regress that? Great question. Great question. Other questions? You know you have some. All right. For those of you who feel so inclined, because I'm a really, really nice guy, at the conclusion of this, there are a couple mini bands for anybody that would like some, because I'm really, really nice. Thank you guys. You're welcome, ladies. My pleasure.